Hey Manas, we are live.
Hello.
So I think we'll start seeing folks in a bit.
Okay.
Let me just open up. Yep, I can see people have started coming in already.
Okay.
Uh, what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on the chat as well, the YouTube chat, and we are live from Mike's handle on LinkedIn. So, firstly, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I am Piyush Gautam, and I handle all the marketing and community initiatives at Outscal. And with me, I have Manas today.
Hi.
Manas is our head of growth, our EIR, and product head of our new product offering that we have, which is Job Portal at Outscale, which helps people land a job in the gaming industry. So we are going to talk about that in detail in a while. But before that, for everyone who's watching us on YouTube, you can ask all your questions on YouTube chat. And for those who are watching us on LinkedIn, you can feel free to drop in your questions on LinkedIn itself. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes because we're expecting few more people to join in, and then we'll start. Till that time, Manas, would you like to go ahead and drop a brief intro of you, like what you did before Outscale, like how it started?
Sure thing. So one thing you missed in my introduction is I am a former student of Outscale as well. So I studied here back in 2020. I graduated from my engineering in around 2018. Always wanted to work in the game development industry. So after graduating, I ended up working as an intern at a indie studio. And from there, we built like a basic prototype, worked there full time after my internship, then was working with Asset Reparts as like a service-based studio providing games to Winzo, MPL, those kind of things. And in 2020, I decided to go for the full stack game dev program because I could see like the obvious mistakes or quality standards that I was not meeting in interviews for bigger companies, right? So I went through the full stack program in 2020, graduated by the end of 2020, and I ended up working on Temple Run 2 at Zansa Technologies. So worked at Zansa for around a year, and then I was brought back at Outscale to like lead new experiments. So uh, I came in around December 2021 is when I started working for Outscale, and since then worked on a few product offerings, and currently working since 1 year. I've been working on the job portal side of things. Uh, so that's basically about it from my end. If there's anything like uh, any questions that you guys might have, like feel free to drop them in the chat, and more than happy to take them up.
Yep, I have an eye on LinkedIn chat, and I'm keeping a tab on YouTube chat as well. I can see some folks coming on YouTube already. So let me just go through and see if there are any questions as of now. I don't think so.
Cool. Feel free to ask any questions. Like that's the point of these sessions, right? Even in our regular sessions, if you don't have questions, then you're doing something wrong. So make sure you guys ask as many questions as possible.
Right. So before we move ahead, I have a really like interesting game that we can play with everyone in here, and all you guys can do is that simply uh, start putting down answers in the chat. I'll ask quick questions, I can see Gerald is asking what is the job scope in India. So Manas, do you want to take this quick question like first? Because I think if we wait for 2-3 more minutes, we'll see few more people coming in, and then we can start the game as well.
Sure. So when you say job scope, first question I would ask is, do you mean game design, game development, game art? I'll focus on game development. So job scope simply, I'll once we share the academy link with you, I'll show how many jobs are active on the platform, and that will give you an idea of how many jobs there are in the marketplace, right? Outside of this, I can vouch for, like, just today, one of our students got an offer that I think I mentored initially from January 2022. So job wise, gaming has never been more lucrative as a career, and more companies have joined in. Even if you can do a simple Google search on like the last week or so globally, the kind of companies that were funded, and just look at how many of them are actually gaming companies. And so job wise, especially in India, everything is moving towards gaming, be it AR, VR, MR, hyper casual games, core PC titles, etc. So back in 2018, I would say there was like a slight argument to be made that maybe a career is not lucrative, but post 2020, it has all been like skyrocketing for a while. So I would just, if you have any doubts about scope, just feel free to like reach out to any of our students over on LinkedIn, or just see hashtag Outscal Mafia on LinkedIn, and that will give you an idea of actually whether there is scope in game dev or not. Hope I answered your question.
Yep. I think there are a lot of questions that people have started asking in YouTube chat as well. And majority of them revolve around career in games, game design. Few people are saying that come straight to the point. How implementing skins is going to help me in my career. Just tell me about that. So I think let's not waste more time. We'll directly jump into it. So for next a minute or two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask questions, and this is going to be a rapid fire round, and even Manas doesn't know all the questions and answers to them. So maybe Manas can participate as well. But we'll wait and let everyone drop their answers in the chat, and then we'll quickly, dive into the main session. So this quiz will help us understand how much connected are you to the gaming ecosystem. And the questions are going to be very simple. So let's get started. The first question is, like, when was PlayStation 5 released? And I do have like 4 options that I can share, but let's see who remembers it. So the 4 options are like January 2020, June 2020, November 2020, or January 2021. So the month and the year.
Okay.
Manas, do you want to take a chance? But I can see just one answer right now.
I don't need to take a chance. I already know, but okay.
Okay. I like the confidence. There's just one answer that says 2021. So, okay, another one. Jan 2021, Jan 2021, Jan 2021.
But when you say release, do you mean India release, or do you mean like a?
Yeah. So I meant like generic, like the first time when it got released, like it was out globally.
Okay, got it. I know the answer. And
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, it's November 2020.
Right, and I think in India it landed in January 2021.
Yep.
Cool.
That's why I'm guessing people got confused. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so next is, this one is a little tricky. I'm not sure if a lot of people will know this or not. What was the first commercially successful video game? And I'll drop the options. It's first Pong, second Donkey Kong, third is Super Mario, and fourth is Shafu. Let's see if anybody
Okay.
knows this.
Commercially profitable.
So, first commercially successful video game.
Okay. Okay.
And you know what? I think I'll keep the answers for last. I'll not drop them here. Otherwise, like we're just killing the fun.
Okay. Cool. I'm not 100% sure I know this one.
Okay. Let me see what people are saying. Pong. No idea, but really go with Super Mario. Okay. Okay. I'm not sharing the answers right now. I'll ask next question. So, what was Sonic the Hedgehog's original name? What was Sonic the Hedgehog's original name? Fast Blue Hedgehog, Colin the Hedgehog, Mr. Needlemouse, or Steven? I'll repeat the options. Fast Blue Hedgehog, Colin the Hedgehog, Mr. Needlemouse, or Steven? Do you want to take a chance, Manas?
Okay. Needle mouse, but no, I don't think it's needle mouse because I know that they were looking for their Mario competitor, right? Maybe they proper name, but I think it should be Steven or something. If it's like Mario Steven, I'm not sure. Right? Maybe an S for Sega or something.
Okay, so now for those who want the answer, you'll have to stay. The last question that I want to ask is, what inspired game maker Satoshi Tajiri? Firstly, I would want to know who knows Satoshi Tajiri. So, what inspired game maker Satoshi Tajiri to create Pokemon? And options are a dream, B, butterflies, third, an old TV show, or fourth, his mom. So, the answer has to be one of these: a dream, butterflies, an old TV show, or his mom. So,
Okay.
one of these four things inspired him to create Pokemon. So, you have to guess what.
Got it. Maybe his mom. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, Satoshi Tajiri. I remember it started as like a turn-based game, but
Hmm.
that was the inception.
Hmm.
Okay. It has to be butterflies because that is the only thing that makes logical sense. But because if if people get inspired for game ideas from their mothers, I'm not sure how people come up with crazy ideas then.
Just wondering like how butterflies could have inspired him to start something like Pokemon.
And
Maybe or maybe not.
different
Okay.
types of
So
butterflies.
I'll drop the answers somewhere during this session.
Hmm.
And but for now, we'll directly dive into the session. And I'll ask Manas to quickly give us a walkthrough of what is Outscal Academy and how you can learn this specific course
Hmm.
that people have signed up for, where you can implement skills, learn how to implement skills, learn advanced level, things in Unity, and how you can build a playable game out of Outscal Academy. So over to you, Manas.
Yep. In the meantime, like guys, say simple question, like if you've heard about Outscale, right? Can you just drop in what you know about Outscale in the chat? I would love to read those as well.
Okay.
Cool. Just give me 1 second.
I can see people still replying butterflies, dream might be TV shows.
Okay. So
So the question is like, what do you already know about Outscale? Feel free to drop a one-word answer in the chat if you want. Okay, so Srujan is saying it's academy to learn game development.
got it. Cool. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, it's visible to me.
Cool. So, hi guys, welcome to Outscal Academy. Just give me 1 second. Yep. So this is Outscal Academy. This is basically our platform for helping anyone in the industry basically find jobs and work with the top studios. This is basically our job portal as well as our platform for getting students to or getting people who are looking for a job in the gaming industry up to speed with what the current trends are and upskilling themselves in game development, right? So this is basically the simple sign up page. I'll just log in quickly. You guys can obviously register. I'll log in with my account. Okay. Oops. Let me try a different. Let's try a test account. Cool. So this is basically our platform. As soon as you sign in, you'll be greeted by two sections, jobs and upskill. I'll give you a quick overview of jobs before we move into the upskill section. So once you sign in, you'll see that based on what kind of filters, etc., you want to look for, you can set basically what jobs are available in the market. So there was a question earlier, like what is the job scope? You can simply sign in here and see what jobs we have on the platform. So you'll see that we as game developers already have around 30, more than 30 jobs live on the platform itself, right? And all these studios are actively hiring and growing rapidly, right? So this is basically just the jobs platform that we are building. If there's any questions on this, more than happy to answer these. Currently, there's mostly programming jobs available, but we are planning to expand into game design, production, QA within a few weeks as well. So you can simply go in here, look at different jobs, apply based on whatever your resume, etc. is, and then go. You will be hearing from us if you get shortlisted or if the company is interested in you. And you can also take certain assessments to test your skill set. You'll see that this job has like a game programming patterns and Unity assessment. You can simply take like all these assessments are around 10 minutes long. So you can take these assessments and get up to speed about, okay, these are the kind of questions that are asked in game dev interviews, right? And these are the topics that are asked. So these topics are curated mostly based on the job that you're applying for. So this is basically the jobs section. It's similar to other job portals that you might have played around with. So not going to go like super deep into this. We are here mostly for the upskill section. So a lot of you might be interested in the jobs that you saw in the job portal. But in order to start cracking those interviews, you'll see that you will need to have a certain set of skills. So for the job that I showed you, for example, there was a particular assessment called programming patterns outside of Unity as well. So Unity is, I'm guessing, pretty obvious. Is there anyone over here who doesn't know what Unity is? Before you move forward, just feel free to drop that in the chat so I can give you an overview. If you are already familiar with Unity, like drop that in the chat as well, that I've already started working with Unity, and that should give you an idea about how basically you can get started in the game dev space. But what differentiates a average game developer from like a above average or like we like to call elite game developer is always going to be these advanced topics of design patterns and data structures and algorithms and how they are actually applied in games. So any questions over there, like what Unity is, what programming patterns are? Like Piyush, maybe you can help me out with those.
Sure. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. I'll let you know if they ask any questions. But no questions as of now. There are a lot of questions around other things like if Outscal offers programming, game design, or how to build a career in games. But yeah, not specifically about Unity right now.
Got it. Cool. So I'll just move on quickly to basically what this game guild is and how you can actually participate in game guild and what the objective of game guild is like. So have any of you guys ever taken a part in like a game jam, or like a basically all of you guys working together on a particular game and finishing that game in a set amount of time? Like it can be hackathon, it can be a game jam, it doesn't have to be anything specific to gaming. Has have any one of you ever tried participating in a hackathon or a game jam? No. Cool. And if you already have participated, like another obvious one is basically, I think there was a question asking what are programming patterns. Anyone know what programming patterns are, or how they can be applied to any other basically software architecture? It's not something that is particularly only present in games. Have any one of you ever heard of programming patterns, use them, know of any of the programming patterns? Like, feel free to drop those in the chat as well. Okay. No questions.
No, I think you
Cool.
can take a second and quickly describe about programming pattern, and then we can move ahead.
Got it.
Someone said singleton.
Okay, singleton is always the most obvious one, but okay, like you were saying, like singleton is a design pattern that overall the objective of a programming pattern or design patterns in general is to make sure that your game is scalable. The code that you're writing is able to handle more and more features that might get built into your game, right? So at the beginning, most of the basically game devs, when they start off with like basic projects, right? And basic projects, you'll be able to create, build, and play just fine, right? But when you're actually working on like a on these big titles, like right, like these big studios, the scope of the projects are is too big. And in order to make sure that you don't run into these certain technical issues, or you can simply say, in order to make sure that your code is actually scalable and more features can be slotted in and out, because again, it's game dev, right? It's an iterative process. So a game might look like something at the something different at the beginning, but it might turn into something completely different after, like, say, 1 year, for example. So uh, programming patterns are needed in order to make sure that your code is adaptable, it's scalable, and to make sure that you don't run into like basic problems if you want to say swap out a feature with something else and your game runs at a very smooth frame rate. So Game Guild is basically going to walk you through a programming pattern, and you'll be working on a project where you are going to learn one programming pattern that is called MVC. So over here, does anyone know what MVC is? Like, have you used MVC? Like, feel free to drop that in the chat. In the meantime, like, I'll just give you a quick overview of what the project looks like. So over here on the website, you can simply go join. And you can see that we have a project goal. So this is basically what the battle tank project looks like. So over this entire project, what you'll be, yep.
Sorry to cut you off, but like just before you go and dive deeper into the technicals of this, like a quick question. Like,
Yep.
is it, do I just have to log in and I get access to all of this?
Yeah, so all you need to do is simply log on to academy.outscal.com, like I did over here. And as soon as you sign in, you'll be greeted with this page. Go to Upskill and simply click on join over here, and you'll get access to Outscal Academy and this particular project as well. So this particular offering is, you don't need to pay, you don't need to basically sign up to anything else. You just log on to Academy and you can do this program at your own pace. So it's not like you have to be there on X amount of time. It's basically self-paced, so you can learn on your own as well.
Got it. So all I have to do is just sign up and go on Upskill, and then if I click here on join,
Yep.
then this whole thing will come in front of me, right? I do just show this one.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Got it. Please continue.
Okay, so as soon as you join in, you'll be greeted with the project goal. So the project goal is basically pretty simple. There's a basic tank template project that we've already created, and you'll be tasked with adding skins on top of that project. So you'll be tasked working on creating a scalable skin system where your characters can have like either green tanks, blue tanks, or red tanks, right? And based on that, and in order to implement that, you will be using the MVC design pattern. So the MVC design pattern, just to give you a brief summary and why it's applicable, perfectly applicable in this particular scenario. Say you want to make like a, so right now we only have 3 skins, right? What we are planning to do is, say, as the game grows, or as say you played like any other multiplayer title, you can get more and more skins, and more content is constantly being added to the game, right? So your game designers are constantly coming up with new skins, and your game artists are actually quickly developing them and getting them ready for release, right? So as more and more skins keep coming in, your code needs to be adaptable, wherein a simple skin gets slotted in on a particular character, and your code needs to understand, okay, this particular skin is slotted in on this character, and I need to show this skin at so and so time, right? So what goes inside the skin is only just cosmetics, but internally the functionality of the character, like shooting, jumping, etc., is going to stay the same. So how do you decouple your code to make sure that only the stuff that is visible is the one that is affected, and all the other functionality is not affected at all? This is what you'll be implementing and learning while you're building the skins in Battle Tank project. So only the skins are the ones that are getting affected in this case. All the other functionality, like how many bullets can I fire, can I move around at a particular pace, etc., all this stuff is not going to interfere with how the skins are going to work. So the goal of the project is to give you an idea of how to make sure that you write clean code, and why you need to basically divide your project into an MVC pattern. So MVC full form, if anyone wants to know, is model, view, and controller. So the model is basically the data part. View is basically what the person or the player playing the game can see. Over in this case, it will be the tank colors. And controller is basically the one that is actually the brain of the, or you can say the mediator between the model and the view. So as you learn and go through this entire project, you'll realize the power of design patterns, and from there you'll build on top and see how the same concept can be applied to your own projects if you want to implement certain kind of mechanics like the skin mechanic into any other project as well. So this basic overview, you can go through the project goal to get an idea of what the game looks like as well. So this is basically what the project looks like. And this is the game that you'll be building. The goal, obviously, with this program is to get you up and running and try to cover this entire project from start to finish within a week. So the goal of this cohort-driven program is to make sure that, or you can simply say game guild, is to make sure that you guys start together, and within a week, most of you can help each other out with doubts, ask questions. If you get stuck, you can reach out to other people who are doing this project along with you, and internally grow as a community as well, right? So all of you are in this together. You'll be working on the same project, and you'll be working on a mechanic or pattern that is widely needed in the industry. So this is probably going to be your first taste with design patterns as well. Cool. So I Guess I have covered mostly everything. If there's anything like you have any doubts about Academy, about the project itself, feel free to like drop them in the chat and I'm more than happy to answer them.
Cool. I think, Manas, by the time people ask more questions, what I'll do is I'll quickly walk them through Discord and tell them the other part of this call. Like, if they are doing the program, like how will we ensure that, they're reaching the end,
Hmm.
the problems that they are facing, that is getting solved. Because right now you can go on internet, start doing and learning game programming from YouTube as well, right? But how is it different from YouTube, and how Outscal Academy comes into play? So, zooming out from the technical stuff a little, I'll take you towards the non-tech side and the doubt-solving side of Outscal Academy, like how our Discord community plays a big role in this whole thing. So right now, what I'm sharing is our Discord server. So for those who are not familiar with what Discord is, it's just a application that we use for our community. Where this is like home to our community, where 10,000 developers from all the different parts of the world have joined us here. People who are passionate about gaming. We have been able to, uh, you know, uh, like build a community of 10,000 people in past three to 4 years, and you will find people who have worked in Unity games, who have worked in Unreal games, who have worked in like pretty much all the gaming engines, and who have experience from 0 years, like literally who are trying to break into the industry, to people who have 10 years, 25 years of experience. So you'll find a mixed bag of all those people in this Discord server. So all you have to do is on one click, you come here and you'll get the link of this Discord server on the Academy as well. The Academy that Manas was screen sharing. So once you reach here, it's very easy for you to ask questions. And let's say you are stuck somewhere. All you have to do is come here, open a channel a specific channel. Let's say, I'm stuck somewhere and I have a Unity related problem. I'll go to the Unity channel and I'll ask questions here. So right now you can see that there are a bunch of Unity folks are community folks who have been asking a lot of questions, and we have built this help system that whenever you ask a question, we make sure that you get response in less than like 10 to 15 minutes. So we stay on top of it. Our community moderators stay on top of it. And then there are so many members in the community who have been through those problems already that you are currently going through, that it does not take more than 15 minutes to solve the problem that you are facing. So there are a bunch of channels. I'll not go into each one of them. I'll just show you the channels that are very specifically necessary for you if you are part of Game Guild. So we start from the top of the, you'll see welcome channels, introduce channel, where you can join and interact with our community. But if I go a step down, we have categories here called programming, where you will see all the channels, named by either a coding language or by a tool. So if you go on C++ channel, you will see people asking C++ specific questions and answering them. C Sharp, again, very similar. We have channels dedicated to Unity and Unreal, where you can quickly go and ask questions. And then, like we are having an event today, we organize multiple events on our community. And you can see here the current event that is going on. A lot of folks from our Discord community have joined, might have joined the session as well. So they get the prompt from here, from a Discord server itself. You get link and access to all our upcoming events, and whenever they are live, you get notified about them. You can join or you can decide to pass. So other than this, there are a couple of voice rooms. So right now I can see there are like bunch of folks who are sitting on these voice channels and either playing around, playing games, testing their own games, or figuring out bugs their games are having and how to solve them. So we have a couple of voice channels like this.
Okay, pretty sure these guys are just playing games with each other.
Yeah, they are playing games. I know. So they're actually on game time, right? So yeah, they are playing game. And other than this, pretty much, this is all you want when you are trying to do this course on Academy. When you are part of Game Guild, we'll have dedicated channel for Game Guild here as well, where everyone who has signed up for Game Guild specifically will get a dedicated role called Game Guild, and they will unlock a specific channel called Game Guild. So prior to this, we had this different initiative called Launchpad, right? So you can see couple of these channels, LP Clan 1, LP Clan 2. So this is Launchpad Clan 1, Launchpad Clan 2, and only people who are part of these clans had access to these channels. And right now, people who have signed up for Game Guild, only those folks will have access to the new channels that we create for Game Guild specifically. And there you can use that channel to interact with your community members, people who are part of the Game Guild and trying to build the same game that you are trying to build. So broadly, this is a purpose that this code is gonna solve for you, and I think that is pretty much it. Manas, have I missed something?
No, there's the good old question that over there on YouTube. It, mostly everything is done. I'll pop that question to you. I am tired of answering.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, but I think I'm done with this. We're done with Discord as well. I don't want to give a lot of details. What I'll do is we'll drop the link instead. So you can come here and start exploring the server yourself.
Cool. So Arun is asking, okay, bro, can I get a certificate after doing this program?
Okay, I wish Mayank was here, but I'll take that privilege and answer like Mayank would have answered it. Fuck no. You'll not get a certificate after this course. We do not believe in certificates. We fucking hate certificates. I don't know why the fuck are people still running after certificates after all this while. The Not only the gaming industry, globally the industry is moving towards skill. People only give a shit about skills, not certificates. I'm sorry. People give no shit about certificates. Okay. So if you complete Game Guild, what I'm gonna do is I'm personally gonna make sure, like the guy who just asked this question. If you complete Game Guild, I'm personally gonna make sure that we deliver a Outscale gift hamper for you, like exclusive gift hamper for you. And but provided that you complete Game Guild and you build your game, it's playable. You post that publicly on LinkedIn, like let every recruiter on your second degree, third degree connection know that you have built a game, and then you know what, you won't need a certificate, because then people will know that you know how to build games, and then they'll reach out to you as, like, if you're available to take the job offers. And we have seen that happen often, uh, like not once, not twice, 10 times, 100 times in past 3 years. I have myself seen a lot of candidates who are heads down, just building games, and sharing a little about that on social media platforms like LinkedIn and a few other platforms. They do get inbound job offers. They do not even have to create fancy CVs, fancy resumes, and they don't need proof points like certificates. Your work is your proof of work. Like, your work is your proof point. You don't need a certificate. You need a playable game. So next time when you sit for an interview, if your recruiter asks for a certificate, like, send them a link of a game that you have built and tell them that play this and fuck certificates. I think I spoke more than my heart out.
Yeah, you went a bit overboard. Again, yeah, this is in no offense to you, obviously, the person who asked the
Hmm.
question.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So, see, obviously, no offense to you. Uh, we are trying to build a community here that caters to each and every person, no matter in which um, in which part of your career trajectory are you right now. Like each member is very much valuable to our community, but we have this solid stance on this one, right? Because uh, for so many years, the traditional education system has feeded this stuff in our head that certificates and degrees are more valuable than actual skills, while it's the other way around. You do not need fancy degrees; you need fancy skills. So we might sometime get over emotional because we have seen people like actually suffering because of this mentality, this mindset. But obviously, no offense, and I didn't mean to offend anyone. I'm so sorry if I overstepped the bound.
yeah, cool. Gerald asked, is this a free program? Yeah, you don't really need to pay. You can just go through the entire content library and ask questions over on Discord. So you can get started directly over there. Uh, Sagnik asks, I am from bio background. I don't have any special IT expertise. I have an interest to become a game developer, especially for AAA. How would I start the process? Make a game. It is as simple as that. Like make something and get started, and you start making more and more complex as you learn, right? That is the only way to learn. You reach out to anyone who's already working in the AAA studios of the world. Everyone started with making like a very basic game, right? Make something that moves on the screen and can be played by your parents. That's it. That's all you need to start with. Once you have that running, start working on your code architecture and code skills and start building more and more complex features in your games, right? So the battle tank game is actually pretty straightforward, right? Gameplay wise. So take one mechanic and then start adding layers to that particular game, right? By adding like skins, like you were saying, basically things that you see in other games, but distill it down into basic mechanics and then try to apply design patterns and data structures and apply your coding skills in order to make features that are relevant in today's gaming industry, right? So the skins, for example, are super relevant. Being able to write optimized games is super relevant, highly performant code. So make a game, see what FPS it's running at, then try to figure out how do I optimize this. Say your game runs at 60 FPS, how do I make this 80? Start from there and start basic, very basic, and optimize and start adding more and more features and again optimize. But the more and more games you build, the more you're going to learn. Just make sure you are not copy pasting the same game again and again, right? So don't keep making like infinite runners, 10 different types of infinite runners, right? Try to make a variety of games, make a 2D platformer, then move to a like a 3D dungeon crawler or something, maybe then move to an FPS game, etc., etc. Keep building on top of that and start adding more and more features. But don't get stuck in this that, okay, I want to work in AAA. Start with something very basic. Go with, I would say, like the easiest one that I recommend is like start building a basic you can say, let's pick a 2D platformer, like a simple 2D platformer project. Start making something like Mario or something, or even if you want to go like one level higher, you can simply go start build like a stack jump project, for example, or any other hyper casual game that you think is easy to make, right? Make bounce. If there's old 90s kids over here, start making bounce and then see how you can take it from there. So the background doesn't matter. You can simply start making games and nobody will really care about what background you're coming from.
Right. So for those who are joining us from LinkedIn, the question was that I am from a bio background,
Yeah.
from a medical background. Can I learn game programming and can I get a job? So minus like a take on this one.
Okay. Background always has never mattered. It never will, especially in the gaming industry. People don't look at your degrees. They'll only look at your portfolio in the long run. They'll look at your GitHub and they'll look at the kind of games you made. What games are you proud of? At the end of the day, if you're not proud of the kind of games that you made, the recruiter or the interviewer is also not going to be proud of or interested in hiring you, right? So the entire essence of game development has always been to make games that you always wanted to build, right? So front and center in your portfolio should be the game that you're proud of. Okay, yeah, I made this. Ask me anything about this game. I'll go on like a 2-hour rant about how I made this small UI mechanic, on how I made this particular character jump at the exact right time and how it's as responsive as I want it to be, and how the code is actually anything. If you want me to add a feature, and I can get it up and running in like a couple of days.
Yep. And for those who want to start learning game programming, if you are from a non-tech, non-coding slash a background that where you didn't learn like even a basic coding language, you can come to Academy. We have 3 courses that are up there already. The game guild that we have currently launched is something that only those folks who have understanding of how Unity works and how programming languages function, they can do. But then there are 2 more guilds that are up there live already, which you can start. And for one of those, you don't need any coding background. And
Yeah.
the best part, at the end of even that guild, you will have a playable game.
Yeah, so the text adventure game is something you can pick up, especially if you don't have any programming experience. Start with that, get some basic experience in C++, and you will have something playable that someone else can actually play and get some enjoyment out of. And then that is basically going to be the secret sauce. Once someone else plays your game, that is when you'll be hooked and you'll start building more and more games as well.
Right. Through that.
Cool.
Okay. I I think we have covered majority of questions.
Yeah.
That people like. And I have already started, the quiz that we had earlier. I'd rather save the answers to Discord server. Should I should I post the answers on Discord community itself? Like people who are actually gonna be part of Game Guild will definitely be joining Discord community. So we can discuss more facts like these, and we are definitely putting out a lot of content about the gaming industry on Discord as well. So I hope to see majority of you folks on Discord, and we can have a lot of more discussions, a lot of talk about a lot of other facts in the gaming industry as well.
Cool. If there's no other questions, I think we've covered everything we wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if there are any questions from LinkedIn. Nope, there aren't. I think we are sorted for now, Manas.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Piyush, you want to wrap up?
Yep. So we've taken the question and answers as well. So actually, the core intention of this call was to help you guys understand what Outscal Academy is all about, and how you can join this game guild, how you can build a playable game, and then answer a few questions about here and there general questions that people have about the gaming industry, like if they can build a career without having a coding experience, without having game dev experience. You definitely can. We've answered all of those in detail. So for those who have already started, building on Outscal Academy, we would encourage you to quickly finish that up, be part of our Discord server, ask questions there more frequently. For those who are watching us for the first time, either on LinkedIn or on YouTube, and you haven't still not started building your first game, sign up on Outscal Academy. If you have already signed up for this event, you will you must have received emails already. We'll send you email reminder on how to start building your game. And other than this, if you have no clue, like what we have talked about, like what we have talked till now, I'm dropping the link of our Discord server. Join our Discord community, and I'm also dropping the link of our academy. Quickly go there, sign up there, and you'll get access to these three amazing courses that can enable you to build three amazing games, which you can play, which you can share with recruiters when they're interviewing you. Tell them that you have built a playable game. This can help you score internships very easily. This can eventually open up gates for jobs and help you understand how to break into the gaming industry.
Cool. Sounds good. Yep, I guess I'll see you guys in Discord as well. If there's any questions, like a lot of you guys had questions about game design, game art. There are game designers and game artists inside the community as well, so they can potentially help you answer those questions. And our team will obviously always be there in case you guys have any questions about how to get into the gaming industry.
Yeah. Cool guys. Thank you so much for taking out time, whosoever joined this call. And we would love to have you on Academy. We would love to see you inside our Discord server. We do a lot of amazing events. We play a lot of games. We build a lot of games. And we will want to see you inside the server. And thank you so much again for joining. And have a great night. Bye-bye.
Yep, looking forward to playing what you make. So, guys.